Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, hope you are all doing well. Welcome to Blockchain Chat. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes. Okay. Hey, everybody, welcome. Welcome. I'll start it off by saying, if it's Wednesday, it is Blockchain Day. So welcome to Blockchain Chat. We are all about the business of blockchain here. I want to welcome everyone here in Zoom as well as in Facebook. So we have a lot happening within BBC. First of all, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Within BBC, we concentrate on four things. Number one, blockchain jobs. The COVID has accelerated everything with regards to technology and how the world, life, careers as we know it is going to change, and blockchain is no different. So getting a blockchain job, if you want to start a blockchain-based business, if you want to invest in the blockchain, whether you're investing time or money into a project, or if you want to build generational wealth from this $3.1 trillion industry, you are in the right place. Welcome to Blockchain Chat. A couple of things. I'm so glad Dr. Keisha's here. So I'm going to let her talk about our blockchain December deals for a second. And also, as she is queuing up, as Dr. Keisha is queuing up the blockchain December deals, want to also invite everyone to become a member of BBC. You can go to blockchainstudies.tech in order to do that. What does membership get you? It gets you entry into our private system. We call it Flock. It gets you entry into that. And we are going to, on December 28th at, I think it's 7:30 p.m., we're going to have our mastermind session available. So you will be able to come in and talk about your blockchain projects, and we will mastermind with you. So that's December 28th. So once a month, twice a quarter, we have those mastermind sessions. And in 2021, we're also going to do a lot more demos of different blockchain systems that are out there. We already have some people we're talking with. So we're going to go a little bit heavier on the technical side in 2021 and on the business development side in 2021 as well. It's $100 per year to be a part of BBC. You can go to blockchainstudies.tech in order to participate. And Dr. Keisha, we have our blockchain. We ended up not doing Black Friday, even though we talked about it like a couple of weeks.
We did it.
Oh, we did it? Okay.
Yeah, we read
Black Friday
and Cyber Monday, but the bundles are still available. Are you asking that we run a extra little sale?
Yeah, let's run extra.
We did it already for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll just press the button and extend the 21% for what, till what, Christmas? Are we doing this?
Yeah, let's do it. Look, I'm in the giving season today, so let's do that. So there are different courses, different bundles available, and Dr. Keisha put them together for us. So you want to go to blockchainstudies.tech. Dr. Keisha, do you have in front of you really quickly what those are?
I do indeed. Yes, I have we have our blockchain crypto jumpstart bundle for 2021. And it includes our blockchain 101, masterclass, our prerequisite course, the foundational course. Then we jump you to crypto economic security 101 by our own Daniel Addison. And you guys have seen him here on Blockchain Chat. He has the Crypto 101 security course, Crypto Economic Security 101 course. And then we bundle in BBC membership, as well as after you learn all this tremendous stuff, you'll be ready to market yourself on LinkedIn with our Blockchain Optimized LinkedIn Profile course. Again, we are the business of blockchain, and LinkedIn is the place to market yourself for business opportunities, project opportunities, that kind of thing, and it does work. Then further, we haven't left out the babies, our youth, our future. We have our Future Forward Teens Pack, which includes our Blockchain Basics Teen Edition course, which is our own goodness, I forgot Jackie. I want to call her name Jacqueline. I call her Jackie. Jacqueline Hayes. It's her own book, and she has a tremendous new workbook out. As a matter of fact, I do want to shout her out for that. And actually, I'll drop in the chat her her link to the workbook. The workbook is really, really nice. A lot of good information in here. I have one of my own kids were kind of team tested it for her. So this course is a companion to the book and the workbook. And then it too is bundled with the LinkedIn Optimized Blockchain Profile course. So this really gets you set very well for the future. Again, we see more and more, I don't know if you guys know, you probably are because you're about blockchain. You're noticing that a lot more stuff is in the news constantly about, this, that, and the other as it relates to, concerns with our financial system and so on. And we know blockchain is the answer for that. So it's showing up more and more. So to get yourself ready, there it will be. I'm going to make a new code. Let's see, what would be a good code, guys? Let's see, my wordsmith, Talisha.
Yeah, you come up with the code and put it in the chat, because you got to be here, you got to be in the building in order to participate. So thank you so much, Dr. Keisha, for all your hard work. Also, Eric is working now on helping us tokenize an asset for our February virtual conference. So we're looking for the virtual conference to be hopefully February 13th. And so take a step back and just talk about the big plan for 2021. We had such great response from the Simba chain that we did with regards to, everybody getting in, and what I say, getting your hands dirty and actually working in a system to create smart contracts, that what we've decided to do in 2021 is do 3 of those. So the first is going to be tokenization of assets. We're speaking with a couple of companies right now to get some group pricing, and we're going to do a 3-month training with tokenization of assets. You're actually going to be able to get into a system and tokenize different assets. I suggest that you all do some case studies, like 1 case study a month. You get to do things on your own, you get to do things in groups, but the big thing is to build a portfolio. Once you have that portfolio built, you're able to either hang up your shingle as a tokenization expert and say, these are the things that I've tokenized. Nobody needs to know you didn't get paid for it, but you can say, these are the things that I tokenized. Or you get to go to a job and show your portfolio and show your knowledge as well. So for those of you, we had a lot of people saying you want to make 6 figures in blockchain. If tokenization is your major, then I suggest you get involved with this. Eric is working feverishly to cut those deals with one of those providers that we're going to actually do tokenization of assets. We are talking with Simba Chain again, but we may actually end up using another system for the smart contract. So we have a couple of people that Dr. Keisha is speaking with regards to that. So that'll be in 2021. And then the third is we're speaking with Daniel Addison to talk about blockchain security and getting a group of people who want to do some projects around blockchain security. Everything that we're doing from now on is to get you prepped for making money, getting you in systems in order to make money. But you have to be a member of BBC in order to get access to these trainings. So that is it. So, Talisha, did you have any other announcements before we jump into tonight's conversation?
I think that's okay. I think it was something.
Okay.
You know what, actually, Cherie, I wanted to add another bundle to the
Okay.
package. It actually will be the Future Ready Now bundle, the smart contract bundle. Let me see, that one entails, let me get there, yikes. I did want to let you know that was available as well. Let's see, bundle, future forward contracts. Okay, yeah, that one also includes our, again, the LinkedIn profile and then the smart contracts course. All right, so that too will be a part of the bundle deal too. So 3 bundles there for you guys.
So yes, so please, if you've been wanting to take a course, now's the perfect time to do it. So let's jump into the topic of the evening. I have a confession to make. I've been wanting to do this topic for about 6 months. However, I had not done any of the research. So every time I thought about doing the topic and we had an opening, because of news or lack of news or things like that, I'm like, I haven't done the research. So your girl still hasn't done the research. But Cherie right now is in this frame of mind of there are certain things on my list that I do not want to carry over into 2021. So I'm very much about getting certain things off of my list, and tonight's topic is one of those things. And you're going to educate me as much as I educate. Well, I'm not going to educate anybody. I have a list to show you, actually 2 lists to show you, but I want to hear from you as well. Your favorite blockchain or crypto podcasters, YouTubers, who are you listening to? People that you follow on Twitter. This is a session for all of us to share because I do want to, I'm not as cutting edge, I feel, with my knowledge as I should be. And it is because I'm not following enough of the right people. And some of you may feel the same way. And as we start talking about becoming 6-figure blockchain consultants, we need to start following the right people on social media and going to the right places and talking to the right people. So that is tonight's topic. I know that Eric and Talisha and Dr. Keisha are going to have a lot to say, but I see Percy in here. I see Johnny in here, Khadija. I know y'all are following people as well. We want to know who you are following. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'll get started with this. So I just kind of Googled, who are some of the top blockchain influencers out there, and this website came up as something that had been updated recently. So I will also put the link in the chat for everybody. Oops. There you go. So we're not going to go through all 100 of these blockchain influencers. I haven't had a chance to check any of these people out. To my panel or to anybody who is listening out there, if there's someone you really like that I haven't highlighted, let me know. But these are some of the people, each person on this list, so this person says does incredibly important work. And instead, all 100 are shown as peers in alphabetical order. So I just kind of went through and I read who the people were, and I highlighted some of them that I thought would be interesting. And of course, you all can go through and see who you like. So I love listening to podcasts when I'm walking and doing exercising. So I'm probably going to put some of these podcasters on my list. First person I see on here that I highlighted was the co-founder and CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong. So I know Coinbase is in the news now for some of the racial discrimination. I'm hoping that that gets taken care of. But Coinbase is still the juggernaut in the industry. So Brian Armstrong is somebody that we should definitely be following. Another person here is Charles Hoskinson. He is the creator of Cardano. So that's the reason why I highlighted him. Whom else here? And if you all see somebody as I'm going through, just stop me. Crypto Bobby is somebody that I had heard of a while ago. So, you know,
Well,
again.
with Sheree, I can say early on, one of the first names at the top was Andreas Antonopoulos. I think Andreas.
And yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I think Andreas is just, you know, when it comes down to a philosophical approach. I'm trying to describe, you know, someone in another sphere and who Andreas would take on that role. But I believe that when you're trying to get that 10,000 view, you know, understanding of the landscape and that sort of thing, I think Andreas is one of the best people in the business for that. You can look at his books, The Internet of Money. I think he has, what does he have? I think he has maybe 3 editions of that that have been released. Everyone, I think, should go get that book and read it. It's a very easy read, but it gives you, Andreas, I think, is great with giving examples because we're looking at a transformation happen in real time. And it's very difficult sometimes to kind of see that when you're in the middle of it. And Andreas, to me, is a person who does see it, and he's able to give you real understanding of what's taking place and real examples, and you're able to go, oh my goodness, okay, now I get it, now I understand it. And I think he does an amazing job. I saw him probably about a month and a half ago. He did a talk with Lamar Wilson, and you know, him and Lamar were talking about it. And I remember Andreas when he was talking about how anytime there's a new anytime there's a new transformation, it will always use the old infrastructure while the new infrastructure is being built. And he was talking about the fact of, you know, and for those of us older with some gray hair, well, I got to shave all mine off, but how when the internet first started, it was using the phone lines. So we were sending data through the phone line, and that's why, you know, your grandmother or whatever would pick up the phone and knock you off the internet. You know, some of the young people remember that. But
I remember that.
Yeah, they would make the noise and making that crazy. Whatever. It's because we were using, we were using a phone line for that until we got to the infrastructure what we have now. So he was saying, so when he does it, he talks about blockchain and crypto will start off using a lot of the older infrastructure while the new infrastructure is being built.
Very cool.
Yeah, he just gives great examples that I think really bring a lot of really salient points home. So
I would highly recommend that was the Black Blockchain Summit that you're speaking of, and that interview with Lamar Wilson is phenomenal. There's a lot of great information to glean from that conversation alone. It was so organic and very insightful, and you can find it on YouTube. I'll even drop a link into it into the group later, but it was just very phenomenal. He does really give you not only a philosophical aspect, but the practicality. There's a practicum to everything that he's telling you. So it's how it's going to be done. And I think that's a very specific point that a lot of people miss, because again, most people are very myopically focused on just this, you know, bull runs or this or that. He gives you the full spectrum of, again, tokenization, the actual cryptocurrencies, the infrastructure, and all the ancillary things that go along to support it. So I think he's one I would recommend as well.
Yes. So, and I actually missed the Black Blockchain Summit this year, so I have to go and listen to the replays. So Tangi is saying Andreas is a major influence and an awesome teacher. Khadija is talking about the Bad Crypto podcast over
Love that
here.
podcast.
I
listen to it often.
She's saying I was able to meet some heavy hitters in blockchain through them. So Okay, so I'm going to definitely, I love to listen to podcasts while I'm working out, so I'm definitely going to put them on my list. See, this is helpful for me. Like, I'm doing this is like more for me. Anybody.
Of course, our knowledge. This is great.
Yes. And then Tracy is saying, it's great seeing you all. Great seeing you too, Tracy. Last time was in 2018. Recently received an email to attend, and here I am. Well, yay! I'm trying to get better with sending out my emails early on for blockchain chat. So the only person, this is again Tracy, the only person I remember and follow on YouTube is Mark Moss. I follow Mark Moss too. He's not on this list, but I do like Mark. And I listen to just his general economic stuff. I don't necessarily agree with everything he says, but I love his perspective. So I'm now re-entering the space. This is Tracy again, and learning more. I'm here to learn if I can add value to the group once I become active and fully educated. So you know what? We are all in the process of education, Tracy. So just hop on in.
Yeah, you learn by doing, Tracy. Just jump in and get in there. And like you said, it is a lifelong process because this is a moving train here. We're all learning. Yeah.
And you're not going to know everything.
I was just going to say, yeah, you will never attain.
Never. Every single day there is something to learn. Like I said, I curate the content for our group, and literally I have 30 to 40 emails and information when I wake up that can totally change the trajectory from one day to the next.
Yeah. So as I continue on, you all can stop me if you see somebody. I did stop at Don Tapscott.
Oh yes, good teacher.
One of the leading authorities on blockchain tech. He's an OG name out here. This list has a lot of YouTubers and podcasters. I don't know. I guess we talk things out a lot more in blockchain. Anybody Black, I always highlight. So this is Frederick Munawa. I had never heard of him. Interviews thought leaders, academics, and entrepreneurs. Blockchain innovation stands out because of its intelligent and unique discussion. So he's a podcaster. So I'll encourage all of us to go check out Frederick. And then there's Fred Ursum, another co-founder of Coinbase. So again, the fact that they created something that is one of the entryways is so important. And Khadija, Ian Bellina is on the list here. So, so he's still doing his thing as an investor. Does he still have his YouTube channel? I haven't heard about it so much lately.
Yes, and actually Ian launched a company, Token Metrics, and Token Metrics, from what a lot of people say, Token Metrics, they feel has some of the best data if you're looking to invest in a certain cryptocurrency project.
Very cool.
Yeah, and he's a co-founder of that company.
Yeah,
so I've heard a lot of people talk about it.
Tangi's mentioned Ivan on Tech. I've heard of Ivan on Tech. So provides a really good international perspective. Khadija saying, yes, Ian is on Periscope mostly. That's probably why I don't see him, because I'm not on Periscope. So that would explain it. Yeah, but Ivan on Tech I have heard of. I didn't highlight him here, but I have heard of him. So next. The only reason I know who Jimmy Song is because of Lamar. The great Lamar Wilson brought us Jimmy Song. So, and I like him. I like Jimmy. So, and then Joseph Lubin, who is the founder of Consensus and co-founder of Ethereum. So he's very, very influential in the space.
Interesting.
So we're just moving right along here. To sometimes I do like to hear what journalists have to say. So this guy, Nathaniel Popper, came up. And according to this list, he's one of the best journalists and authors covering Bitcoin and blockchain tech. He's a writer for the New York Times and is author of Digital Gold. So
we have a comment here from Facebook, and it says, Laura Shin and I agree, both Tangi and him. I like her podcast a lot. She does have very interesting interviews. She kind of asks some very succinct questions, and it kind of moves through, how she pieces it together. She's a
Oh,
journalist
okay.
at the top. Yeah, she definitely gets some major players, and she, she's pretty much, I would say, she asked the right question.
Mm-hmm.
Let them skirt. She's like, what does this mean? Like, how is it really, what's the nitty gritty? She's going to be in there.
Very cool. I have to check that one out too. Y'all are active in the chat. I love it. Tangi's also saying Lauren Shin has an awesome podcast. Yes. And Meltem Demors is one of the smartest women in the space.
She is. I listened to a podcast with her just recently, and I was really impressed with, like, she's
very cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have like a marathon right now to go through and listen to all of these people. So let's see here. Again, y'all can stop me when you see somebody that you like. I was fascinated with this, that somebody is a host on CNBC. I wasn't necessarily fascinated with his bio, but he's probably, pretty good. But the fact that that he has this crypto trader show on CNBC also shows that it is becoming mainstream. So Stefano is editor of Token Economy and prolific blockchain writer. I just pulled this up because, we're all into tokenization. So, would love to find out more about him and what he's doing.
I like the crypto lark.
The crypto lark.
Yeah, don't worry about his crazy picture, but he gives
that does look like something from the 80s.
but he gives great content when it comes down to like investing in projects and that sort of thing. I think he's really very solid. Cool. Yeah.
Good to know.
So obviously Vitalik is super huge, but I didn't highlight him. And the Winklevoss twins, of course, are legendary as well, but I didn't highlight them either. So
they're very active on Twitter. So is Vital. So today when he, Ethereum 2.0 launched, he was on there all day, people congratulating him. He was talking back and forth. So definitely, Twitter, that's the medium that you can sometimes really engage with these individuals, not only just listen to their podcast, but kind of get into a conversation with them on Twitter.
Yeah. And you all know my saying, I'm going to ask for you to finish it in the chat. It's not what you know, and it's not who you know. It's, nobody on the panel say it. I want to see who knows my saying in the chat. Khadija knows it. It's who knows you. No, it's not who you know. It's who knows. It's not what you know, and it's not who you know. It's who knows you. So, who knows you? Khadija saying got it. Who knows you? Here's the problem. If we know these people and they don't know us, then we have limited opportunities in the space to make, if you want 6-figure businesses, 7-figure businesses, you want 6-figure jobs, a lot within blockchain is who knows you and who's going to send an email, text you, connect with you on Twitter, connect with you on LinkedIn, and ask you, hey, I got this job opening, I thought of you, or I got this opportunity, I thought of you. Yeah. We have got to be known. I was interviewed a couple of weeks ago, it's probably been a few weeks now, by a Forbes writer who said, I had no clue there were Black people in blockchain. We've got to do a better job individually as well as collectively of getting out there and getting known. If you're saying that you want 6 figures in blockchain, this is not me, lecturing, this is just a statement. If you're saying you want that, it's important and imperative for some of the people on these lists to know who you are. So let's talk about Black people. Black people in blockchain and crypto. If there's any list, that you keep up with, should be this one. This is was formulated and is curated and kept up by Deirdre McIntyre, a good friend to BBC. She runs Black People in Cryptocurrency. She has a Facebook group. I would definitely suggest that everybody join her Facebook group, get engaged with Deirdre. She's a nice person. We actually need to invite her back to come and speak. Super smart, super connected, and one of the leaders within the blockchain space, not just the Black blockchain space, but blockchain period. So
Yeah, Deidre's great.
Yeah, she is great. So oh, okay. So she's saying here, I don't know how old this is. At present, the Black People in Crypto Accelerator is seeking funding to launch our first cohort. We are already affiliated with the first HBCU blockchain lab at Howard University. So they have some great things going on here as well. So here are some of the Black people within blockchain that we should follow. So we know that there has been some issues with Arthur Hayes, the founder of BitMEX. However, you know, he's still a part of the blockchain community. So he's number one on the list. It was reported that BitMEX grossed $1 trillion in summer 2018. So this is nothing to sneeze at here. You know, Black people are doing their thing. Another friend of BBC, Sarita Hines, definitely a person to follow. We love her over here. And Talisha, Dr. Keisha, Eric, as you see people that you want to highlight, then let me know. We do need to have Jamari come back.
And a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah.
Names, rather. Yeah.
We need to have Jamari come back as well. Jamari was talking about how he wanted to use blockchain to stop predatory lending. And I think that that is so important for the community. So I'd love to know how he's doing with his project.
Yeah.
Another friend to BBC actually came last year and spoke with us. Oh no, earlier this year, Ryan Robinson of Conduit.
His project is doing very well with the COVID. So like he's literally amazing. So some of that is also, we have a lot of different things going on in different projects, but that's one of his biggest ones right now.
Yeah. Khadija saying Farrah Allen of the labs. Yes, we had her on as well. She came, and we just need to invite a lot of these people to come back. It's been too long since we've reached out to them and had them come on. So Sean Wilkinson of Sword. Go ahead, Eric.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, Sean Wilkinson, it would be great for us to have him on. I mean, that is a big space, the decentralized computer storage. We saw, of course, you know, there are other players in the space like Filecoin, but Storage has a great reputation. So it would be great to talk with Sean and get him give us updates on the project and everything. That'd be awesome.
And I do want to say something else about this list. These are people that are, if you want to consider them one step above you, you can. Outside of Arthur Hayes, I can reach out to any of these people and get them to come to Blockchain Chat, get on a conversation with them, talk with them. The only reason I mentioned Arthur Hayes is because I have tried to reach out to him, and you have to go through his people in order to do it. But when we start talking about it's who knows you, if you're kind of a little, you know, concerned about going to this big list over here, start with this list here. You know, start with, hey, I'm going to reach out to 3 or 4 people a week and see if I can have conversations and let people know what I'm doing within blockchain and what I want to do, and see if they need any help with any projects that they're working on. You'll be surprised who says yes. So another friend, Kristen Mcfarlane, Patientory. They're doing great things.
We're still an ambassador to that program. So her
yes, we are.
Right now, as well as her summit is going on here shortly. It's coming on right now.
Yeah. For those of you who are out of the country, you've got Nigeria representing. You've got Trinidad and Tobago representing here. So you've got an African-based cryptocurrency exchange, Eric Anan. I saw people have stuff in the chat here. Let's see here. Tavania Evans, yeah, Tavania's on here, definitely. Are there any Black developers on the list? I have a hard time finding them. I put the link in the chat, so just go through and see. This is just a plain old Google Doc. So I think there are some blockchain developers on the list. I think Sarita Hines does a little bit of development. She's not a hardcore developer, but just go through the list. And then Eric is saying, yes, Tavania is great. Yeah, she is great. We love Tavania over here. So,
Cleve is actually on a campaign right now with regard to Coinbase. She writes about them every single day. I mean, literally, she's claiming every moment. So if you want to know what's going on with Coinbase, you need to follow Cleve. She'll give you all the in-depth information that you want to know what's going on over there.
very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, she's literally, it's like a dumpster fire that she's like with her phone right there. She's waiting. She's even like, she will call them out and she's waiting for them to respond to her. That's how.
Wow.
Yeah, we went from a few articles, the New York Times article dropped, and she just literally went all in.
I love it.
So do we have any follow-up with Reggie Middleton? I know that he had that the issue with the SEC and the suspension. Did he ever like start anything new?
No, not at this point. That's still in litigation. I think they're finishing up the full litigation on that because there were some other residual things that came up.
Yeah, I hope he makes it. I've met him.
Yeah, I remember.
I went to New York actually specifically to meet him, and he was a nice guy.
But
So I don't know the ins and outs of his business, but he was a nice guy.
I met him at the very first Black Blockchain Summit,
Mm-hmm.
and he offered me a job.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
See, it's who you know and who knows you, people. You got to be out there. You got to be out there. I will say this as well. I was invited to speak at Blockchain and Booze. They had a panel. You know, it was really great. I think that we need to like really kind of venture out and go and be a part of these different groups as well. So, you know,
and guys,
I'm telling you that I've had so many jobs offered to me just because somebody knows me. They're like, I know you don't know how to do this job specifically, but I trust you. You're smart. You'll figure it out.
Wow.
You know?
Nice.
That's it.
And here's the thing too, we are online, so there's kind of no excuse for, you know, the flights and all that. So this is like prime time to reach out to people. People are no further than the mouse. You know? So this is exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. There was somebody who was saying that they are, what do you call it? They do proposals, government proposals. I'm like, you know how much money I could make? You know, just selling your service of doing blockchain government proposals. So some of us have really, really good skills that these individuals need, you know?
You know, that brings up a good point too, Sheree, because when, you know, a lot of times we're so close to our skills that we don't really realize the value of them to other industries and other folks. So we may need to somehow do something where everybody drops their information in. I know we have our mastermind meetings, so shout out to that too, where you can bring those skills to bear. And you may know people in your circle, you know, that having knowledge of everybody's skills, we could share out that, hey, I know this person, and pass you on.
Yeah. So I don't know this person. I've read Ray Austin's name, but you know, all of the gamification and the football, fantasy football and all of that, I think is going to be super huge. There are some people within BBC who mentioned supply chain. So here's a person, Constant Taylor, that's doing something around supply chain. So these are the types. So I would go through this list again. I put the link in here. Go through this list and find 3 to 5 people that you say, you know what, I want to reach out to these people and have a conversation with them. You never know. I'm just kind of going through here. Yeah, we need to, we never were able to get Mackenzie Slaughter on, but I wanted to have her, come on. So this is great, blockchain solution for agriculture. I'm really getting into agriculture now. So, you know, renewable energy.
Number 60 there, Kashmir Patterson. Go check out her site for sneaker cred. Well, you know, when we talk about, you know, the tokenization, but we also talk about NFTs, and she has created a platform for, you know, tokenized sneakers. And I, you know, I believe that that's just going to be a major area, and they're going to kill it. And yeah. So yeah, so check out Sneaker Cred. And it was actually on the, it was when we were actually having that blockchain chat with Deidre, and she mentioned her. And you know, of course, I flew out of my seat like, whoa, this is like something I've been thinking about for a long time. And then I reached out to Kashmir, but I would love to, you know, have a longer in-depth conversation with her. She's cool. Amazing.
Yeah, I remember Deidre mentioning Kashmir. I'd never heard of this concept before, but yeah, but I remember that in that conversation. So, okay, so this is something that's interesting. Sure Remit. This venture allows customers to pay the bills for loved ones or send vouchers while earning gift, redeemable points, and savings on transaction fees. How many of us either have or know people who have had to pay the bills for loved ones and for people you know, etc.? So, you know, I think like stuff like this is meant to help the community. So let's see here. So you have like Acoin here and, you know, just some other things. You have the conferences. So you get to see who's doing conferences. You got Lamar and Leif here with Coindonomics and Wacoinda. Yeah.
You know, it's funny.
And 105. Woo!
Yay!
Just made it on the list.
Yeah.
What?
Look at that. Look at that.
Yes. Nadja's on the list. Nadja's our girl. So Trek is on the list here. Trek does LinkedIn Live every day. So if y'all want to hear somebody talk on a daily basis, Trek is a great person. He's on LinkedIn. Go ahead, Eric.
I was going to say Chris Bleckenschmidt. He's not black.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say his name is Black.
Then how did he end up on our list?
Because the reason why I say that is funny is I saw him on social media make a comment just about his ethnicity, and he made that point, and I remember me going, "Oh, but you're on the list."
He's on the list. Been on the list. So
but he's not. Like, oh yeah,
he must have a pass somehow. Yeah. I didn't know.
I also was gonna say crypto and culture with Crypto Kinsey. He's great. He's just hilarious. Knows his stuff. In you know, I listen to his YouTube videos. He really knows his stuff, but he's really insightful on a lot of things because he came in also in December of 2017, and like he says, totally came in that time. He said, "I bought at the top."
Yes.
Not all worked out.
Even though now it's getting back to where we bought.
Yeah, exactly. But listening to him, but he also has talked about how his journey has been through that point and where he is right now, where he's doing really, really well. So I just like seeing seeing someone kind of come in, you know, the similar time, and then watching the arc of how they're, you know, how they've developed.
How they grow. Yeah. Speaking of, in the chat, tell me how high do you think Bitcoin is going to go. I'm seeing a lot of crazy, interesting numbers out there. I'm like, I wish it would get up that high. But tell me what you think in terms of
To the moon.
how high
We'll say by the end of the year, Percy.
by the end of 2020. Let's say 2021. Because I just meant how high, period. But so I'm gonna stop share here because I want to see in the chat. 100,000. I've seen a 100,000 from a few people. 288,000, 75,000 by 2021. Yeah, I've seen a lot of 100,000. I saw one person say 500,000. You know, so and not by 2021, just period. So you know. Yeah, so look, Bitcoin is going to be interesting, and we're not financial advisors here, but it's not too late to get in the game, you know. Blockchain, when we first started out, it was going to be a $3.1 trillion industry. I've been saying for the past year, I feel like that number's low. The last research I did, $27 trillion per year was going to go through tokenization. And that was before COVID. So, you know, pick a major. Any predictions on Ethereum? I haven't seen any predictions on Ethereum.
Oh, I have.
I know.
What have you seen?
Oh, you don't want to know. Like, you make your head spin. I heard, and these are from real credible people. Like, of course, you know, we're all in the point of learning as we're going. I've heard on the conservative end, 5,000. On the high end, 30.
And the interesting thing is most of us can buy a whole Ethereum, you know, or 3 or 5 of them and just hold on to it if we chose to.
Yes, and I've seen a lot of people come in with the belief of like right around. A person said 30K sounds good to my.
It sounds good to all of us. Yes, yes.
Yeah, and I've seen quite a few people come in and say 10,000 per Ethereum.
Ethereum being a 10,000 wouldn't surprise me. So right now it looks like it's close to 600. So, you know. Yeah,
like let me just say, like, here's one group of guys that I do want to add to this list that I just think are just fantastic. And
Gentlemen of crypto.
Yeah, well, no, first of all, you know, like, yeah, I mean, that's our people. We love, you know, come on, man. Those are people like,
actually, they weren't on, maybe they were on another part of that Black people list. They should have been on the main list as far as I'm concerned.
They should be. Like, I believe that they should be within the top 100 because, you know, of course, looking with Zay, like, who else has written the book for the Black community about Bitcoin? And I think that Zay, to me, is just, you know, like, I think it was Jeff that called him the Morpheus of blockchain. That's why I do.
I love it.
I do see Zay like that. But there is a couple people that I did want to add to that list that I see didn't make it. One is like Ryan Sean Adams. He runs a podcast called Bankless, and it's all about how to live a bankless life. I think that for what I've seen with them, they are so much on the cutting edge of Ethereum. And when I'm talking about Ethereum, not purely from a technical standpoint, but how are you going to use Ethereum in your own life, and how you can use Ethereum in your own life. And like, their newsletter is fantastic, but they have guests on, and their guests are just, I mean, they just always drop these knowledge bombs that I just end up pausing the podcast and to think on what they're saying. Like, wow, man, that's fantastic. And one of the things that they've talked about too is like, they don't have any boss that they work for. What they work for is a protocol. That's who they serve, and it's Ethereum. And that's their primary focus, is Ethereum itself. You know, of course, they talk about they own Bitcoin, they own other cryptocurrencies, but their whole thing is focusing on all of the myriad ways and applications that you can use Ethereum, and then how we in the future are going to use Ethereum. So Bankless podcast with Ryan Sean Adams, I think is just fantastic. And the other person too that I think, and this is weird too, because things move so quickly in this space, but this person is pretty much like a new entrant into this space, but I think he's had like a gigantic impact, and that's Michael Saylor, who is the CEO of Microstrategy. And if you follow and look at any of his tweets, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, like he just says, things in his tweet that I think are just like massive. And the thing is why I at least believe that, it's very pivotal, because you look at what he did as a CEO of a publicly traded company, of having them invest, and now I'm thinking, what is it, probably like 85% of the company's cash reserves into Bitcoin. He's also now kind of served, to me, kind of like as a Pied Piper for other institutions that are looking to do the same thing. And I think that is a very key moment that we can't forget, that happened this year. That, from first he goes, then Square follows behind him, and I think Stone Ridge comes, and you start to see these institutions take these massive bets in converting their cash reserves and buying Bitcoin and holding Bitcoin. And I think that in 2021, we're probably going to see this even at a greater degree. And that's why I think that even too, when people talk about the prices of where Bitcoin could get, yeah, like I think for us, most of us, when we look at 2017, where retail took us to a certain point, retail, we're talking about the average investors like, ourselves, where now in 2021 and beyond, we're going to see institutions take these big bets into Bitcoin, and what's that going to do for the price going forward. So that's one of the factors I think that we have to weigh into it. So
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting being in the middle of this and seeing the ride and seeing the peaks and the valleys and the skepticism and the all out, oh, everybody's interested again. And I think one of the big things is number one, understanding that this is still in a way speculative. So, this is definitely not, don't put your mortgage money in or money that you need right away, right? Number two is we as a people tend to buy high and sell low. We tend to be the people who are like getting in at the very end of the we call it trajectory, the upward trajectory. And I just want to see us win where we're at the beginning, of something, right? And I don't know. I don't know what else we can do to get more people involved or just have them understand what's about to happen on a global scale, because so many of our people just, they don't know, or they're not aware of the impact that this is going to have, And then when it goes up, let's say Bitcoin gets 100,000, then everybody's going to be asking, hey, how can I get into it? We're like, okay, we tried to tell you when it was 4,000, when it was,
We also have to make this determination right now. Like PayPal, I think, is a very interesting player in this space, that they came and again, it let legitimacy, but at the same time, not a full transparency of what cryptocurrency was, because again, you don't hold your own keys.
Right.
But also they, why the price surge was really about, they bought 70% of all the newly minted, Bitcoin. So they were buying it as they were minting it. So at that point, there is that, these things are being pushed. And I do think that we went from 2017 was really about retail, just about the true setting up the infrastructure. And now we've moved to enterprise. And so now in 3 years, we've taken those long steps. It's like thinking of, from a software perspective, if you just had a little rinky dink thing that you were doing and you were just doing it intermittently in your local capacity, but then it took on an enterprise level. how interesting that was. And that's in a 3-year period that we saw that happen. So the escalation, not even with the pandemic being in play, just the escalation of 2017 to 2020 and having the pandemic and having these enterprises enter the space really hard hitting. Like they're coming in at full force, buying a whole lot and holding.
Yeah.
That really is something to take note of. They're not just sitting there and trade. They're definitely, that cash reserve trade-off is a really significant thing. So we need to pay attention to that. So that's kind of, sometimes it's like the education of not only what we're doing, but what others are doing. So
what others are doing.
Always, see what we're doing is we say, okay, well, Amazon did this or PayPal did this. So what does that mean to you? You have access to that. So sometimes it's the perspective of the big people are doing it rather than just your little, oh, I go to the ATM and buy it every day kind of thing. So we really need, I think that's the shift. Like when people are like, why would you do that? Why would you buy it? I'm like, because I buy it every day. You know, that's how you get a Bitcoin. But I think those are the things that education wise are just really the perspective of how to divulge the information and make sense of the news right now. It's much more important than trying to convince. It's just like, have a conversation. Do you see what's happening? Why do they keep talking about this blockchain Bitcoin price? Like, what is that about? Have that engage in the conversation rather than you should be buying, you should be doing this, because people don't want to be talked to. They want to just kind of have that conversation.
Right.
I have a, you know what, I'm going to tell you, at least you're right. I have a prediction on something, and it could seem completely ridiculous. It probably is. But this is one of the beliefs that I do hold. As far as for the next wave of retail, to me, it's going to be when Bitcoin hits 50,000. People will begin at that point, which they could do it now, but they won't. But they'll at that point, I believe people will convert a large percentage of their pension funds and retirement accounts over to Bitcoin. And that could potentially be the next big spike in retail. I also, just like we talked about with corporations and companies converting their cash reserves, the next one is going to be the nation states start doing that. And when we start seeing that, you know, and we know that many of them hold gold and use gold as their, you know, as their backup in some course.
Asset backing.
Yeah. So these sort of things are on the rise. And just as Felicia said, man, we went from the retail to the point of publicly traded companies taking, well, where are we going to be at 3 years from now? And we don't see any kind of dissension here. We don't see it descending down and then just losing interest from that. No, the interest is only escalating further and further pretty quickly, if you want to be honest.
So we've all looked at Rogers bell curve. I'm trying to find a big enough picture of it. And let's see here. I'm looking, okay, this is good here. And then we'll part for the evening unless my panelists have something else to say. So just keeping this in mind, that this is the innovation adoption life cycle, also known as Rogers bell curve. And we're still in the early adoption phase here. And they call this section right here between early adoption and early majority, they call it the chasm. This is where you make the majority of your money. So right now, you know, well, through, I would say 2017, innovators were really in. And some people still feel like we're in the innovation period of blockchain and cryptocurrency, because those are two different things. So, you know, others feel like, no, we've started moving into the early adopters with the big money coming in, with the institutional money coming in. We're getting to a point, we talked about this a few months ago, where people said 2025 was going to be the year where major shift was going to happen with blockchain. I think that report was written pre-COVID. I think so.
Good point.
So everything accelerated because of COVID. So all I'm saying is be on your P's and Q's. If you're serious about, the business of blockchain, joining in, not because we want a whole bunch of money from you and all of that, but joining in on what Dr. Keisha's doing in 2021 with helping you, work with these different software protocol providers and putting together a portfolio and start talking to people, start networking, because people are going to become millionaires and billionaires because of blockchain. And I want us to be a part of that number. I do. So with that, does anyone else have anything else to say before we log off?
Yeah. Thanks,
All
everybody.
righty then.
Hey, thanks everybody for contributing. That's been huge.
Yes. Thank you
interactive
so
tonight.
much, everybody, for being here, and we will see you next week.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Everybody.